Hey everybody in the VC, back again, and Merry Christmas again. Hope you're having a great day. So I just posted a video of some of my list of favorite Christmas songs. Wanted to do Christmas albums too. Planned to do all of those together, but that video ran pretty long, so I thought I'd split them in two. And so without further ado, doing favorite Christmas albums. Like I said, I saw Matthew Street had done a video on this a few days ago. I saw some other people do their favorite Christmas songs. So even though it's Christmas Day and a little late to the game, thought I'd still jump in and have fun with it. And these are in no particular order. These are not all my Christmas albums. I have, I don't know, 60, 70 albums and CDs and 45s Christmas related. I did a few years ago a video showing all of those. So it's somewhere back there, about 4 or 5 years ago. If you're really interested, you can go back and find that if you want to see everything I had at that point. I've added to it since. But these are just some of my favorites, and I didn't really rank them, but I'm just going to go through, and I don't know how many albums I came up with. I think it's, I don't really remember, 16 or 17 or so. But the other ones I have, I love Christmas music, love Christmas, as I said in my video that I just posted. But these are some of the toppermost to the poppermost for me, the ones that I make sure to play every year. And again, in no order, we'll start with Paul Revere and the Raiders Christmas album, A Christmas Present and Past by Paul Revere and the Raiders. Love Paul Revere, great, one of the great power pop 60s bands, and featured heavily in the new movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Great movie, but I love the Paul Revere and the Raiders since way back when I was a little kid. And so this is their Christmas album. It's a little experimental, a little weird, a little something different. The songs are not as rocking and pop as some of their hits on here, so it's a little bit out there, but it's a strange, kind of fun album to play every Christmas. None of these were really hits, unfortunately, but it's a fun Christmas album, and you can't go wrong with some Paul Revere and the Raiders. So we'll move on to Kenny Burrell, Have Yourself a Soulful Little Christmas. And this is a jazz guitarist and jazz album. Good stuff. It's your typical little drummer boy, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, My Favorite Things, White Christmas, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, Silent Night. Just songs we all know and love, but done really well. Got to have some jazz Christmas music in your mix. And this is the real stuff. This isn't the plastic elevator jazz. This isn't Kenny G or people like that. These are the real jazz musicians, and just a really great it's instrumental, good Christmas music done in the style of jazz. Soul Christmas is another one I have to play every year because it's a great one. And you've got Clarence Carter, King Curtis, Otis Redding, Joe Tex, Carla Thomas, Solomon Burke, Booker T, William Bell, King Curtis again. Just a various artists, soul musicians on the Atco label. And that's one thing with a lot of Christmas albums. There are quite a few of them, instead of being one group or one person, happen to be the various artists. So you just have a bunch of different people doing Christmas songs, and those are great. But that's why it's sometimes kind of hard to narrow it down to your favorites. But nonetheless, I did it. Another jazz album, Jimmy Smith, Christmas 1964. This has a great version of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, again an instrumental album. Starts off, just sounds like musically sounds like the voice of God or an angel, and then goes to a really crazy, wild, upbeat jazz rendition of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, one of my favorite Christmas songs. And the rest of the songs on here are very good as well. And you've got the regular Jingle Bells, We Three Kings, White Christmas, Santa's Coming to Town, so forth and so on. Great album, good jazz album. Bing Crosby, don't really have to say much on that. Definitive version of White Christmas, of course, but all his other stuff is good too. You got Silent Night, Adestus Fidelis, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Jingle Bells, Santa Claus, Silver Bells, all good stuff. It's got the Mela Kalaka Maka, which is a Christmas song that I never much cared for. But other than that, this is gold and one of the best voices ever, of course. Like I said, don't really have to say too much more about Bing Crosby. Two albums that I don't have because they're at work on my desk. Gene Autry's Christmas album. Gene did the definitive version, in my opinion, of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but the album is chock full of other Christmas greats, all really up on the housetop, and just a whole bunch of other songs that Autry does in his classic style. Great one. The other one that I forgot to bring home from work is Linda Ronstadt's Christmas album. Forget the title of it off the top of my head now, but it came out, I want to say, it's a late period album for her. It came out in 99, 2000, something like that. Because sadly, she's unable to perform or sing anymore. And it's your typical Christmas songs, along with some more obscure songs, all done really well. Linda Ronstadt, one of the best singers ever. So don't have to say too much about her. But her Christmas album is not out on vinyl; it's only out on CD. But I think it's out of print. It's easy enough to find, worth tracking down. Linda Ronstadt's always, can't go wrong with her either. Frank Sinatra, same thing, is in same vein as Bing Crosby, and you got Mistletoe and Holly. I always like that one. But Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, First Noel, Hark the Herald Angels, Silent Night, of course, Jingle Bells, etc., etc. And Frank and Bing have several Christmas albums, so you can't really go wrong with any of them. But I think those are the first of their Christmas albums. I could be mistaken. Moving along here, we go to Los Straitjackets, who is an instrumental guitar band, and the guys all dress up like wrestlers with the masks and all. But great, they do a lot of albums that are traditional songs, not Christmas songs, but they have two Christmas albums. This is their LP, and then there is a 10-inch Christmas record that they put out, which I also have, and it's I didn't pull that one out, but instrumental guitar music, kind of like the Ventures or something, which are also great. They did a great Christmas album too. But again, your regular Frosty the Snowman, Here Comes Santa Claus, Marshmallow World, Jingle Bell Rock, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, Larry Little Drummer Boy, Christmas in Las Vegas is about the only sort of obscure thing on there, but a lot of fun. Some good guitar rock Christmas music. The Jackson 5's Christmas album, one of my favorite versions of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, is on this album by the Jackson 5. But everything else on here is really good, and it's not just Michael singing lead. It's Jackie and some of the others get their turn to sing lead, and so it's cool, fun stuff. And anyway, Jackson 5's Christmas album, worth checking out, worth giving a listen to. This is something a little bit different. It's Death Might Be Your Santa Claus, which is a cheery title for a Christmas album, but these are all songs from back in like the 20s and the 30s, and some pretty obscure things. Did you spend Christmas Day in jail? When was Jesus born? Don't think I'm Santa Claus. This is sort of blues and old 20s music, mix of that stuff, and so it's some fun stuff. It's just from a different era, and it's not just the same old Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Silent Night mix. So you get some different things, and it's good music. It's sort of, like I said, bluesy and old-timey music, something different. This was a Record Store Day album that I bought, don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, and always gotten a lot of enjoyment out of it. So not the cheeriest title, but a fun album. James Brown, Santa's Got a Brand New Bag. Santa Brown did a lot of Christmas songs. They're all sort of a lot of them are sort of somber. Most of his music is upbeat, but a lot of these are somber, but they're very moving and touching and affecting and very beautiful. And so you got Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto, Christmas in Heaven, It's Christmas Time, beautiful song. Let's Make Christmas Mean Something This Year. So again, this is a lot of great James Brown songs without the usual uh, Christmas classics that everyone seems to put on their albums. Even though you do have "Merry Christmas, Baby" on there, so that's everyone knows that one. But I actually have a CD that's the complete James Brown Christmas collection, which I cannot find. So I'm afraid I might have lost it. That's a double CD set, but can't go wrong with James Brown, and can't go wrong with James Brown singing Christmas songs. So let's see. Also, when I was talking about the Death Might Be Your Santa Claus, the old 20s Christmas songs, this is another one, Where Will You Be Christmas Day? It only came out on CD, and these are songs from 1917 to 1959, and most of them were in the 20s and 30s. So a lot of old-timey sort of blues and country and, I don't know, Dixieland or whatever Christmas songs. A lot of stuff that's not the usual stuff. So it's kind of fun to hear something different that's also something good. Um, this is still available. I don't think it ever came out on vinyl, but only on CD as far as I know. Little Steven's Underground Garage Radio Stations, Christmas A GoGo. This is a various artists compilation. It's got some really great stuff. Little Richard doing Run Rudolph Run, the old Chuck Berry song. One of them that I talked about in my favorite Christmas songs video that posted here a few minutes ago was Sock It To Me Santa by Bob Seger and The Last Herd. In fact, I'll hold that up if you want to read the track list. Incredible, action-packed energy, rocking Christmas song. Just a great song. Merry Christmas, the Ramones. Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, which I also mentioned in my favorite Christmas songs by Wizard. And one I didn't mention, well, I'll get to that. I'll Be Your Santa by Rufus Thomas is another great one. Father Christmas by the Kinks, one of the best Christmas songs, one of my favorite Christmas songs. And I talked about Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses, which isn't on here, as being possibly, as far as I know, the last great, really classic, great Christmas song, original Christmas song written from the early 80s. But I'll change my opinion a little bit because there's a song, number 13, The Cocktail Slippers, Santa Is Coming Home, which dates from, I don't know, I guess the early 2000s. But they're a girl group that sort of sounds like the old 60s girl group, sort of sounds like, oh, Go-Go's or something maybe, but just a good girl group, and that's a classic Christmas song from, so that might be the last truly wonderful, great original Christmas song, maybe. But anyway, this is chock full of a lot of great stuff, and definitely worth getting. It's blow the roof off, just great rock and roll and soul Christmas compilation, and definitely want to have that on your Christmas playlist. So let's save those things for last. Another one that was on my favorite Christmas song list was Linus and Lucy, but really the whole album is incredible. I love the Charlie Brown Christmas Show. I've watched it, as far as I know. It came out when I was like 2 years old, so I don't know if I watched it when I was 2, but from the time I was like 3 or 4, I remember watching it with my parents when I was little. Watched it every year since. One of my favorite, maybe my favorite of all Christmas shows. Love the comedy, the animation, love the message of the show, love the music of the show too. And won't get into the damn thing froze.